Alright, I got a 2016 6F35. I got a 2013 coming out right behind us. So the first thing I need to do is mark this tranny so that I don't get them mixed up, which the R&R guy is supposed to do this. I'm falling down on their job. The next thing is this tag right here has a solenoid strategy number. This needs to be documented, which they're supposed to do this also. Odds are they didn't do it. So I got it. That number is extremely important. Alright. 13 millimeters on the case. Studs north right there. Bring me all their rags. So you got 13s and you got 8s. I just mark all the 8s so I know where they go back. $8 millimeter on the speed sensor back here. $8 millimeter on your detent. Unplug your neutral switch. Unplug your speed sensor. .30 Torx, and then there's a 10 nut right here for your valve body. 10 nut. And the valve body will come off. Separator plate. 2 rubber seals normally stick to the plate back here. They go in these 2 holes. 30 Torx holding our speed sensor in. We're going to lay this on its back. We're going to get right here with the big pry bar. This is usually pretty stout coming off. If you pry other places, you're probably going to break it when you try to first take it off. So at least break it loose right there, and then you should be able to get it off after that. Move this back some. Got a bearing here. Got a bearing that sits right here on top of your diff. 10 millimeters and 30 Torx. Since I got the 30 on, go ahead and take those loose. There. Forgot 130 Torx. Alright, make sure your pump's not all scored up here. Our filter is going to come off. Get it turned the right direction. Here we go. Mark our pump gears. These are pretty bad about having bad pumps. I'm pretty scored up on the gear right here. So this pump's bad. You can buy just the valves part of it from Ford. The valve and the gears. These are our O-ring. Make sure our ring gear teeth aren't chewed up. Our bushing down here where this rides is okay. Got a plastic washer here. Got all of our seals for the between the 2 case halves. Chain guide, or actually it's an oil slinger. Make sure our diff pinions are okay. Got a bearing down here. Make sure it's okay. There's some gear. And then pull our sprockets off. Make sure our bearing's okay. our chain hasn't chewed up all the teeth on here. This bushing right here is real bad. You want to always replace that. Chain, the link, blue links are up. And the bearing here. Eight millimeters on the chain guide and on our oil slinger. Now sometimes it sticks to it. There's little bushings that go in here, plastic bushings. Sometimes it'll stick to the bolts. So make sure if they did, that those are the bolts that you put back in there. See if I can get this one to come out. In there. Actually, it's rubber. Pull our park actuator out. Note that our snap ring the opening is over here, super critical on this. But this opening goes back right there. Now usually these units are in really good shape and just got valve body problems, or they just totally wiped out. There's hardly ever any in between. Make sure sun gear's not broken off of here and it's not chewed up. The teeth aren't chewed up here. We've got cushion plate. Make sure it's not snapped anywhere. Our planets are okay. We got the big bearing here that goes like that. Small bearing on top. Our other planet. Sun gear, looking okay. Bearings. And our center support will come out. I see a ton of these where this bevel plate right here is cracked. Just a bunch of them. These are all rubber molded pistons. If you're gonna take them out, it's best to have a adaptive case press, and it's got the rings that fit out here. It presses down. Our other planet, looking pretty good so far. We've got our cushion plate here. Not broken. Now our center support. Only goes in one way, so I mark the bottom lug. Just makes it quicker. You're gonna have to pull it out pretty straight. It will get cocked in there and get stuck. Don't get too radical with it. And I've seen a bunch of these where they get hot back here and it'll start cracking. See how the clutches started burning on there? I don't see any cracks on this one. Now I hand wash these. You want to make sure it turns freely one way and locks the other way. There's sun shell. Drum. Bearing goes on the bottom. It's got tabs that line up in the bottom of the case. Right there and there. You got to pull this ring off right here. You'll notice that it's got this wide tab up here. This has to go back right here. There's a bleed hole in this piston. That bleed hole has to be right there. And then your snap ring has got the opening over here again. It needs to go back there. Look at your pistons real close. The pistons seem to be in pretty good shape, so I'm not going to be taking the ones out of the center support. Like I say, you want to use an adapter case press to do that. It makes it super easy. So I'm just going to hand wash that. And as far as this goes, the adapter case press works really well for this too, because you're going to have to put a ring around the outside here. We're going to push this down just enough that we don't break this tab off, but we can get this snap ring out of right here. That's going to allow us to take this all apart. These set of clutches right here will come out now. Oh, I forgot to pull off my input shaft. Small snap ring pliers with the curved end on them. And find our opening. All this fluid that keeps running out makes it a little difficult. This drum here makes a hell of a mess trying to get it apart. Bang. Snapper and keep it separate. Great. Dang it. rings I'm talking about on here, so you can push all of it down at the same time. Our snap ring. Our piston, or backing plate, piston. Good shape. Our return spring. Now you got to find the opening and push the snap ring in, and that'll allow the pressure plate to drop down. And you can get the snap ring off, and our clutches come up. It don't matter if this cushion plate right here is good or not, replace it every single time. Now we can push this down, take our snap ring out here. Our snap ring, our piston, our return spring. You put this back in here, shoot air to that hole. Wrong one. This hole. There we go. And our piston will come out. Go right it up. Alright, do an LS kit filter. I don't know why I put that there. And it's the same as this. KO199 is a superior number. The KO99 is for the earlier units. This fits like 2014, 13, somewhere in that. The one that uses the thick bushing, that's this one. Pump section with the gears and valves, you can get it from the dealer for around 130, 40 bucks, somewhere in there. It's a way to go. If the pump gears hadn't been bad, I would have bought the transgo valve to go in this pump. 3.5 reverse cushion plate and a zip kit, and then my torque converter is code of D. Okay, this one's the 2013. Go ahead and mark the case. Go ahead and get our number here. Notice we left a bracket on this one. Let's go ahead and take this off. Probably shouldn't be any differences other than maybe on the oil slingers. 10 millimeter there. 13 millimeter. up to 2012 is the first generation. Now somebody's already been into this one, so we'll see if they put it together properly. Speed sensors, 8. $8mm and detent. Neutral switch. Our speed sensor. .30 torque. Seal stuck to here. I say, should have been leaking like a sieve. Connector's a little bit broke, but our locking tabs are right there. $10mm. Your seals. Whew. Smells pretty right. 30 torques here. Flip it on his back. Big pry bar right here. Yep, our oil slingers are different. Mess. All smashed. Screwed up. Been riding on the chain. What a mess. Let's see. Go ahead and do our 30 torques. So far I've run across 3 different setups of this guide and of these slingers. We've got 8 millimeters on the oil slinger, $10 millimeters on the pump, this should come off now. Yeah, our pump is done. This is all grooved in. It's recessed right here where the pump gear goes, like they misstabbed the converter. So there's not much point in looking at this pump. It's all done. The rest of this is all screwed up anyway. Gear's all chewed to pieces. So this is all chewed up. This one's going to be in rough shape, for sure. Look at our ring gear here and our bushing. Where this rides right here. The chain is pretty loose. Bearing. Bearing down in here, make sure it's okay. Plastic washer, bearing here. Our sun gear, it's okay. Blue links up. Pull this off, bearing back here. This bushing right here, you need to pay real close attention to it. That one and the bushing is back in here because there's no sealing rings on here. It relies on this bushing for sealing. Millimeters here. That's broke. Boy, somebody butchered the crap out of this thing. Ridiculous. Snap rings in the wrong spot. Luckily it didn't break the case. Snap ring opening should be right in here. It can break the case if you put it in the wrong spot. Let's see if we can get this out of here. Come on. Don't be like that to me.
There's a bad wire on that switch. You move it harder and you can see this part on the scanner. So he missed the wire somewhere. Because it reads on drive and third and second and first, but it doesn't read on.
It didn't Friday. It didn't read anything.
When I pull that harness, I see that.
Come on, baby, get out of there. Being like that. Seals out of here. Sunshell, a little dinged up. Probably be okay. Alright. Bearing in here. Ooh, planet's bad. This bearing. This bearing. Check our cushion plate. Good. Center support. Like I said before on that other one, these are really bad about cracking. Planet. Cushion plate. Pressure plate. Mark the center support, bottom lug. about straight. Turn one way, lock the other. This is looking a little bit rougher than the other one. Still not cracked. I think we can salvage. I think the steels are salvageable. Cushion plate. Sun shell. Dinged up a little bit here, but I think we're okay. Well, managed to put this snap ring in the right spot. It's over here where it's supposed to be. Managed to put, well, they actually have to put this in the right spot because there's a spot down here has to line up. But that needs to be up here with that bleed hole up here. That there does not look that great. I don't know. Pretty bad, pretty bad. Snap ring pliers with the bent edge. I'm going to take the snap ring out back here. There we go. Come flying out and hit me. Keep that separate and it'll fly away. Check our bushings in here. And the bearing here. Snap ring. Pull our clutches out. Alright, we're gonna use our adapter case press and we're gonna use these rings again. Goes around here and push the whole thing down. We don't want to go too far to break that tab off. Alright, our snap ring. It fit really tight. I may have trouble getting this thing off of here. I did not want to compress. Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to have trouble. Alright, let me push on these clutches from the top side. Right here, maybe I can get it down enough. I was able enough to get the snap ring out. This cushion plate always replaced, like I said on the other one. I don't like anything about this unit. There's really nowhere to pry against. We're almost off. it shouldn't be this hard coming off. We're going to put pistons in this. Looks like the drum is cracked. Right there. I'm putting a drum in it. Snap ring, or piston and return spring. Put that back on there. Shoot some air. Piston, and we'll be replacing that. There's really not much to go with here. I think they may be getting a used unit on this one. I don't know. We shall see. This has got a fair amount of damage. Not the worst I've ever seen, but it's alright, I think I got everything. Now this kit with pistons, filter, complete pump, chain, this baffle. Actually, I got that backwards. This goes up here. Where'd I write that other number down? I screwed that up. I have to scratch this out because it's going to screw them up if I don't. I have to put that scoop. I couldn't find it in the book. I'm going to have to give them the part number that's on it because it's not in the book. That's the number on this one from WIT. It's 46698B, plastic one. The superior bushing for the case like the other one, KO199. 3.5 reverse cushion plate, zip kit, bushing kit, 456 drum. Add input planet, and then I got to give them the number for that scoop. And my torque converter doesn't have a code on it anymore. It's been replaced. Best I could tell, it has a BB5P-EB.